Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome to the second Programming for Noobs tutorial using Python. Alright, so in this tutorial we're only going to cover two things. First thing is the terminal window. This is how you're going to talk to your program and how it's going to talk back to you. The second thing we're going to cover in this video is something called a comment. Now, if you're wondering what a comment is, think of it as a sticky note that you're putting inside your code to let you know, as a reminder. Let's say you open up this file like a month later. This is just to remind you what your code does, because it's easy to forget. Think of it in another way as an instruction manual that you're building for yourself. And then that way, if anybody else has to work on your code in the future or edit your code, they'll know what your code does, and they won't have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out what it does. It'll already tell them. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a folder for all of our projects on our desktop. So we're just going to call it Python for Noobs. Alright, Python for Noobs. Create that folder on your desktop. Okay guys, the next thing we're going to do is open up Visual Studio Code. We need to add our Python for Noobs folder to our working directory. So you're going to click this little icon that looks like two pieces of paper, two files. Go ahead and go to Open Folder. Go to your desktop and then go to Python for Noobs, the folder we created. Select Folder right here. Now you have a working directory, Python for Noobs. This is where we're going to put all of our code and all of these videos going forward. Alright guys, the next thing we need to do is create the file that we're going to code in. So under our Python for Noobs folder, go ahead and right click New File and name this 1-comment-io. That's because we're going to talk about comments in this video as well as input output. Then make sure you add .py to the end of your file. And this lets Visual Studio Code know that you are coding in the Python language. So it's very important to put this .py right here, to put that at the end of your file name. You'll notice right when you put .py in, you'll see a Python icon, this little blue double snake. You'll see this pop up right next to it. Okay guys, now we're coding. First thing we're going to do is start off with the comment. The way you comment in Python is with a hashtag. An easy way to remember that is think of social media, right? Like hashtag flexing, hashtag leg for days, hashtag, what's a hashtag, dude? Hashtag reps for Jesus. Plenty of hashtags, easy way to remember. Okay, so our first comment is just going to be, this is our first program. I am a noob. Now make sure you do noob with 2 zeros. In fact, you also should do a lowercase n, not an uppercase n. You're still not an uppercase n noob yet. Now it's important to know comments do not actually affect anything that your code does. Remember, they're just like sticky notes. They're just to let you know what the code does, but it doesn't actually change your code. It doesn't have any effect on what happens. Okay, now that we've talked about comments, I want to go back to talking about the terminal. Remember, the terminal is how you talk to your program and how it talks to you or the user of your program. So the first thing we're going to cover for the terminal is output. Then we're going to talk about input. So the way you output something to the terminal in Python is with the print statement. So we'll type in print, and then inside there we'll do quotes. Now I'll explain why we need quotes in a second, but we'll put quotes and then we'll put whatever we want to say inside those quotes. So right now we're going to say, yo, I am a noob. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and run this. You're going to see this green triangle up here, all right? This little green triangle, and that's the debug. All debug means is you're going to run it in terminal, and you'll see it say right there, run Python file in terminal. So go ahead and click that. And you'll notice down here, it'll print, yo, I am a noob. You'll see it right here. Now we're going to go ahead and add a comment just to show you that comments don't affect your code. So we're going to go ahead and say, hashtag, this is output. Go ahead and save that and then run it, and you'll notice you get the same thing. I am a noob. Okay, so now that you've seen how to do output on the terminal, I want to show you how to do input on the terminal. So we're going to type input parentheses, and that's going to take user input. But we need to put that user input somewhere. If we just run it like this, it's going to go nowhere. Nothing's going to happen. So what I want to do is I want to put it inside something called a variable. Now there's going to be a whole video on variables after this one, so just follow along. But for now, we're just going to create a variable called box. And whatever you put in the terminal for your input is going to be stored inside of box. Like, you can literally think of it as we're putting something inside of a box. The next thing we want to do is we want to print out whatever is inside of input. All right, so we know that box is equal to input. So we're going to say print box. So what's going to happen when you run this is your terminal is going to output, yo, I am a noob, and then it's going to let you input whatever you want. So you're going to type in whatever you want, and then that's going to be stored inside box. And then the final line, print box, is then going to print out to the terminal whatever you typed. Okay, let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. So go ahead and hit run. And you're going to see it print, yo, I am a noob. And then you're going to see this little box. And this is just prompting you to put something in. So go ahead and type in, I am a noob indeed. And then we're going to hit enter. And you'll see it prints, I am a noob indeed. Okay, guys, I know some of you might be thinking, but why did you put quotes on yo, I am a noob? On what we printed? Why did I put quotes on it? Well, don't worry. That is something called a string, and we're going to talk about that in the next video. It is actually a type of variable, just like box. Now, don't let that stuff confuse you, okay? We're going to talk about it in the next video. Don't worry about it for right now. We're good on that. All right, guys, you finished your first program. We covered comments, we covered input, and we covered output. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments. I appreciate any feedback, anything you might want to see different. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. That helps the channel a lot. I'll see you in the next one.